I know that these biblical things, I think that they come from, yeah, of course it's called Eden, I know. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. But the only thing I can say is that normally I would have gone through the script a lot of time, taken all that shit. But I didn't this time. I was relatively uncritical of the script. That means that all these things stayed there. This was Satan, that nature is the church of Satan. I think the idea was that it came from her research and the belief that nature, well, comes close to being evil. If it depends on, of course, what point of view you put on it. But I'm sorry about the Eden stuff. It came up and I just let it be, you know. So it was Eden, and then it's very easy to, of course, since it's a man and a woman and all that. I have not worked in a way where I was thinking Eden. The reason why it's called Eden is that it was a place that was supposed to be very romantic, and being kind of the incarnation of me. Yeah, that's it.
Where's the microphone? Yeah.
Sarah is your favorite author because I felt a lot of connections there in this relationship with the couple. But what I was wondering is the role of Charlotte, of the actor, the woman that plays the feminine, is that she felt guilty because she felt she was above all a woman of pleasure more than a mother, because that scene that walked back and forth, that she saw that the child was falling, but she didn't do anything about that. That's the whole guilt of the problem, right? Is that the way you see women? Some women, there are women that prefer.
Okay, so the question is about the guilt of the Charlotte Gainsbourg character.
Yeah, because I didn't hear, I just heard a little bit of the question. Will you please repeat just a minute?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. The question is that the character that she interprets, Charlotte, felt the guilt because she felt she's a woman more of pleasure than a real mother. You know, she put the shoes wrong. She saw the child falling, but she didn't do anything because the pleasure prevailed. Is that correct, the way you see her? The way that's the problem that it's created? Or do you see? Yes.
Okay.
Well, you ask if you say she's not really a mother, then you should have seen my mother. This is nothing compared to what I can see. Yeah, I don't know. I think she's struggling with some guilt from the sexual pleasure. I believe that is male and female. It's very strange, but a lot of from society there's always been a lot of guilt in these things. Yeah, I don't know if she saw him falling, but I know that you can see from some of the images. I'm empathetic, but I felt very much like her. I felt very much when I wrote it. I don't. She's struggling with sexuality, but I think she has a lot of pleasure out of it.
Are there any questions in the back? It's hard to see you from here.
Good point.
No? Okay, we have one here.
Thank you. Mr. Von Trier, two brief things. One, I think that the film is an exceptional piece of work, and I just wondered if it was intended for us to have much sympathy for Willem Dafoe's character, because as soon as he changes his wife's medication, I was just like, anything bad that happens to him, he deserves at this point. And my other question is, will we ever see part 3 of the USA trilogy?
Well, I think that when you write, you have one of the ways you can write is that you kind of split your own personality or your beliefs about your own personality on the people in the film or the characters. And yes, I understand him. I feel like an idiot like him, a little bit, and he did a lot of extremely stupid things. But we really had it's very interesting this about where the sympathy goes in the story, because first we had some lines in the film where he reacts much more like a therapist too. And then he became extremely unsympathetic. And we had to cut it out, otherwise it would have been very, very one-sided, the whole film. So this, where sympathy ends up a film with a lot of violence and a lot of stupidity is really, I wouldn't say, well, I intended it to be not too clear on, where your empathy. About this number 3 of the American trilogy, yes, that's the problem about trilogies. There have to be 3 of them. Let's see. I'm open to it. I do not have the exact idea. When it comes, I will make the film if it's possible.
Thank you.
In the front row.
I thought the film definitely was a horror film and definitely had lots of horror influences. Did you have clearly in your mind certain antecedents that were there in the process that influenced you?
Some films that influenced me?
Like Rosemary's Baby, for example.
I've seen the old stuff, and then at a certain point in my confusion, I started seeing Japanese horror films. I saw The Ring and Dark Water and liked them very much, but maybe I liked them not so much for the horror, more for, as you say, cultural differences, or it's interesting to see images that are definitely not from the West, or that was my feeling in a way, and I like them very much, but I don't know if, yes, I'm influenced, of course, by The Shining, also, Rosemary's Baby, absolutely, and Carrie was, for me, a very good film when I saw it back then.